And start. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Cool. Cool. Alrighty, guys, what is going on? So, music's low. No, no, music's loud, but it's loud in my ears. Hold on. All right. Cool. So today is a special day because we got a special guest. I got a coworker of mine, I guess you could say. He's been doing cybersecurity. He and I kind of are cut off the same branch. Have a lot of the same mindset, same approach. The only thing is that I take like 10 years over him. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Jason on the stream. Jason, you are live.
Hey everybody, hey to all our viewers.
Cool. All 2.5 viewers in there. We're kidding. All right, so we've been talking about doing something like this for a while and how we wanted to, to kind of like give a different approach on how we see IT. And you coming from a cybersecurity background, kind of give me like what is like the things that are easily overlooked in cybersecurity.
You know, it's crazy. And when it comes to cybersecurity, a lot of things that are overlooked is the security itself. People tend to come into the industry just looking for an easy way out, you can say. You know, especially since COVID, security has been something that's been taking over, and we've been getting a lot of hacks, threats. The numbers went up by millions, but so have the jobs. But I just feel like a lot of companies are not taking the correct approach. So when you say what is overlooked, the basics. Think about it like I have a network, I have an environment. How can I protect this? People want to go into tools, but let's start from the beginning.
Exactly.
Everybody
forgets about the keep it simple, stupid mentality.
Right. Let's start with the users. Let's start with training your users, because they'll be your biggest downfall if you dare not train properly.
Oh yeah. What is like the number one security issue? People. Computers are smart. People are not.
Exactly. One wrong click of a link and boom, here we go.
And it's a lot of times it's just the one time that you start looking into, oh, I want to go ahead and implement this new technology. Yeah, right. But you forgot about what do you need to do to protect it? Because yeah, any Joe Schmo can install a smart smart door or a smart device or anything.
Right.
But how do you secure it? Are you gonna go ahead and put that on the public internet without like a password? Come on.
Exactly.
So
where we like ring cameras, I'm pretty sure everyone done seen how many hackers are exploiting the ring cameras. People.
Bro, don't even get me started with Ring. Like the easier one that we can actually talk about would be the Chinese little camera systems, the little Ethernet
Yeah.
cameras. They're
Mm-hmm.
basically like chiming into China every 5 minutes. Lord
Exactly.
knows what they're doing with your data, and Lord knows what they're streaming to, and what are they trying to gather. Like
Exactly.
it's like a massive reconnaissance system, and you're trying and us in IT, and you're in the specifically in cybersecurity. It's just one of those things that it's a cat and mouse game. So
Right.
you and I have worked for almost 6 months together,
Right.
and one of the conversations, well, a lot of the conversations that we have is like, okay, let's implement this new thing to make our life easier, but let's also do it with the security in mind.
Mm-hmm.
How many times, how easy is it for um anybody in IT, and more specifically in cybersecurity, to overlook sometimes the most simplest of things when it comes to cybersecurity?
Easiest way to overlook. It's crazy. When you, what is the biggest problem people in tech have? We make everything so hard. We forget about the basics. Step one, like troubleshooting.
Oh man.
It's like troubleshooting. We will do all of the most craziest troubleshooting steps. We will try to brute force instead of we'll try to brute force our own password instead of just, oh, duh, let me
Documenting
just
it.
go. Exactly. Like, duh.
Oh man. You and I, like, we talk about this all the time, and it's sometimes like,
Exactly.
really, how many times do we really overlook the most simplest of things, and we're both like, why aren't we doing this?
Exactly.
And we try, and we sometimes overlook at the, like, we're looking like, okay, hold on, we're like
Hmm.
overcomplicating this. We have the tool set, we're not using the tools in this toolbox. Let's go ahead and go back to
Exactly.
square one. Now, I know a lot of the times that we've talked, actually we actually talked about it today, and we're like, let's automate this stuff. And I'm
Right.
a huge proponent of automation.
Hmm.
And even as I start building these APIs and start building these automations, I don't really build them with security in mind.
Right.
Like, what would you say to me if you start seeing all my scripts not being like done with
Hmm.
security in mind, which is exactly what I'm doing?
Right.
But how would you approach a me?
Well, where a lot of companies don't, that's when I say security is kind of like respected, because when you look at it, when you're doing automations or projects or just any little changes, security should always be implemented to approve you of the next phase. So the way I would approach you about it is, hey, let's look at what this script is doing. If it's a code, let's scan the code. Let's see if there's any vulnerabilities, if there's any bugs. That's where a source code or any tool to scan the code will come in.
Like sneak.
Exactly. If there's no vulnerabilities, fine. All right, cool. Here's a check. You're approved to move to the next step. But doesn't just come from people like us. It has to trickle down from higher ups, because they'll look at it as, okay, you're telling me to do it, but my manager doesn't care. So who do I really have to listen to? So it always comes from, who am I? Who do I have to respect
Yeah.
in a way?
Yeah, that
So
that type of role is the hardest one, because whenever you're in the position where you need to secure things and you don't have somebody that can actually advocate for you, or like is
exactly.
fighting, because I think one of the first things that may have happened, like when you first came in, was you were thought you were going to be fighting me on a lot of things. You're like, nah, this guy he has his networks the way it is. He's not gonna want to change. And I think the first week
Right.
you were like, oh, He wants to do it the right way.
Exactly. He's been wanting to do it the correct way.
I've been
It's
wanting to
no
do it right the
problem.
whole time. We were like, oh, we're gonna get along swimmingly. So, I wanted to jump pace on not only like the implementation of cybersecurity and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, what are the things that you normally do in cybersecurity? Are you always pen testing? Are you always like trying to hack the box?
No, no, no. See, a lot of people think cybersecurity is only hacking, it's only pen testing, which is not. There's so many job roles out here that you can do that you don't have to be hacking all the time.
Yeah.
You can be incident response. You can be a security researcher. There's many things you can have to do. I feel like my role now, you're just, hey, whatever comes at you, whatever's put in front of you,
You're
just,
reactive right now.
yeah, reactive, yeah. So it's all about, you know how it is out here in the
Yeah.
work field. Your job description can say one thing,
You're doing
but
something
what you're
completely
actually doing
different.
is totally different. So you always got to be prepared. That's why to have the necessary skills of doing the job, it's always good to just keep developing. Some people feel like, oh, I don't need network. I don't want to learn networking. It's too hard. I want to go into security. Um, you're gonna have a rude awakening because it's
Yes,
good to have some
seriously.
networking skills.
You gotta have a lot. You gotta know how to read very well, because
Exactly.
your biggest problem isn't the network. It isn't the people. It isn't the applications. It's
Right.
the cybersecurity rules and regulations that you have to abide by.
Exactly.
Oh my god! When we started talking about well, at the company we're at right now, we're talking about SOC
Mhm.
1 and SOC 2, but then we started talking about NIST, and we
Yeah.
were like,
Look like whoa. Whoa,
we're
whoa,
like,
whoa,
okay,
whoa,
so we have
whoa.
to start from scratch. Can we just start the company all over again the right way around? Man, when we started talking about like,
Bro.
okay, we got to start doing NIST, we got to start doing ISO, we got to start doing all of these. We started looking at these things, and we are like, just throw the whole thing out and start from scratch. That's the hard part, especially at least on my end, where
Right.
you have to tell me, hey, by the way, we don't have these GPOs for BitLocker. Let's just use an example.
Mhm.
Let's say we need to implement BitLocker. I'm like, well, okay, what is the impact? Because cybersecurity is one thing. You want to go ahead and obviously lock down everything to the point that we comply with all these regulations for our
Mhm.
for our customers, or the government or stuff like that.
Right.
But I have to look at it in an impact where, like, okay, so we go ahead and we implement ISO. That's gonna go ahead and give us obviously a lot of the guidance that we need to do, and or NIST. Let's do a NIST, more example
Mhm.
that actually goes with the operating system. We need to go ahead and start locking down BitLocker. What is that going to be done on the performance level? Is that going to affect the HR, accounting, any of the people that work in the company? Is it going to be inhibited? Okay, if it is, we need to
Yep.
find a way. Why is it? Why? And what is going to be the next level approach? And it's such a balancing act. And this is where us, we have to be. IT and cybersecurity need to be on the same page. They can't be button
Right.
heads. If you
Right.
have a cybersecurity, like in your case, you have to tell me, hey, we need to have this level of security, and I'm like, well, that's going to be impossible, and I'm gonna fight you on it. It's just going to be a back and forth, and nobody's going to ever advance, and that's a problem.
Right. But what is a IT department if two departments aren't challenging each other?
Exactly. Now, challenging in the wrong way. Now, I challenge
Right.
you in a different way. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and build that. I can do it in 5 minutes. You're like, what?
Hmm? And people fail to realize a sysadmin, a sysengineer is a role inside security.
Hmm.
people fail to realize that sysadmins are like jack of all trades. It's just that what do you want to specialize in?
Oh yeah.
So you look at it as, dang, how are we going to implement all of these things? You know what makes it hard? The users.
Hmm.
Nobody is, nothing is worse than coming to a company that's not open to change.
Yeah.
When I say open to change, they're not open to change the way they work. For example, if you have a, for example, you know, you'll notice by what I'm about to say. I just don't want to, speak too
Yeah.
much. If you come to a company where too many people have local admin rights,
Yeah.
and you just come and change that, and now they don't feel free anymore, you'll have a lot of pushback. You'll have a lot of, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then you tell them, oh, no, 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 I have a fix. Even if you come with a fix, it's always, well, why do you need to take
Eh,
compliance?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Well, this is dumb. Well, I want a job.
Yeah. How about
Because,
one of two things? One is a directive from your executives, and
exactly,
two, you want to get paid more, right? Because these certain level of compliances is what's gonna get us to get paid more.
right.
It's gonna give the company more money. That's gonna trickle down eventually.
Yep. So it's the users, man. If you can take a company, you take the users out of the company, do what you need to do, you won't hear nothing.
Oh, it'll
It'll
be
be crickets.
smooth,
Put
smooth
the users in
operator.
the put the, put the users inside the company. Now all they have to do is adapt. But the
Yep.
fact that they're adapted to many years of doing things their own way, it's like you're working from
Nice.
home in the office.
Oh yeah, 110%. And
So
that's where I think, and I'm so glad that I was able to get you on, because I've talked, and I've had rants about company culture, IT culture,
mhm,
but one of the topics that I can't speak in extreme detail because I don't, that's not my specialty, is cybersecurity.
mhm,
And being able to have a conversation like this where we can have um different perspectives in IT, because
right,
I have the idea of I want to automate all the things, and I'm just like this doing the being the puppet master.
right,
I'm pretty sure that somebody grabs those strings, they can manipulate the entire system. And
exactly,
that kind of terrifies me when I start realizing, man, I have 95 scripts and they all work in tandem. If somebody gets a hold of the master script, they can control the entire environment.
right.
So yeah, that kind of terrifies me, because I'm like, I wield this
Hmm.
power in the wrong hands. Oh man. So
But
go ahead.
that's why you implement security and do it with best practice, because why are we here? To protect the users, the company, and everything we have, all our data,
Yeah.
all our traffic, everything.
Yeah.
So if that happens, either two things: I'm not doing my job, or somebody's careless.
Oh
Don't get
yeah.
me wrong, things happen, but sometimes you just have to, when the investigation happens, you're like, oh, this could have been prevented if I would have just did this, that.
That
This would have happened if I was blocking the correct traffic, if I was doing the correct web filtering, if I was doing this, if I was doing that. But like I said, it all starts with the users. The users won't learn until either something bad happens or until their job is on the line, and that's bad. Why not nip it in the butt now
yeah.
before it turns late?
Be proactive, not reactive. That's
Exactly,
exactly, that's, man, 100%.
exactly.
So let's go ahead and just start talking off the cuff here. Um,
Hmm.
what is like your scripting background? Like how much? Like just let's just chill.
Sure. So scripting wise, so I got into scripting, I might say, in 2017. Never really studied it, never really tried to master it. Just, little scripts here and there, finding scripts online, manipulating them. And then my last company, which was a healthcare company, got more into it. Um, Found plenty of scripts that would wrote plenty of scripts that would disable users. Nothing too big. Then when I got here, you opened my. I was like, whoa.
The world is
Now,
opened.
bro, I was like, whoa. Scripting is powerful. Automations are amazing. I done ran into more people I can count on the finger that's more afraid of automations than automating itself. And I'm like, bro, now that I think about it, this would have fixed 100 problems that I ran into back then. But you'll have oh, let's try to do it manually first before we decide to automate it. But it's like once the job is done,
Nobody's gonna want to
nobody
automate it.
exactly. It's already done. So it's like, oh, we'll worry about it when it comes around again.
Yeah.
But it's like, why not automate it? And if it does come around again, one click of a button, or you know, run a few commands, and you're good.
That's where
So
I'm at right now. Like
exactly.
I'm in that moment right now where we're at, where I'm looking things and I'm like, why have we been doing this the wrong way, or why
Right.
have we been doing this the most inefficient way?
Hmm.
And a lot of the things are, it's just like, okay, now we need to do this one time because a lot of our processes are either wrong or out of date or not documented or what have you.
Right.
So I have to do everything manually now. And then after I do it manually is when I can start scripting it. And I taught you this is like, okay, before you
Hmm.
do it once manually so you know the process, and then
Yep.
script it. And
Hmm.
then once you script it, it's set it and forget it at that point. You're
Right.
done. So a lot of the times we run into these problems where um we have these plans and these things that we want to do in the department,
Hmm.
and then we just run into like a, oh, we didn't think about that, or uh we're wrong. We're approaching this the wrong way, or we're like, yeah, we don't know what the heck we're doing.
Seriously.
And the part that scares me, and this is the things that I think about, is if we're doing this the wrong way, or we're doing this the right way, or we're doing
Hmm.
this some other way, how many other like companies are doing it the same? And now I
Exactly.
start wondering how many companies are actually like suffering through from imposter syndrome.
Exactly. They'll think they're doing everything right. Hey, relax. Relax,
Oh
because
man.
all it takes for an auditor to come through, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah, that document, yeah, sure, I'll get you that document.
that,
Oh, I think they call my name.
seriously.
Yeah,
One
it's
auditor will humble the whole company. Or it takes for the right customer to ask for the right thing. Hey, you're high trust certified? You're ISO certified? And you're just like, um, uh, no, but we can answer your security questions. And you're just like, they're just like, nah, we'll back out this deal. We're too paranoid.
yeah, a
We're
lot of
too many
companies, especially those
paranoid.
that deal with high security, government,
Hmm.
Department of Defense, healthcare, even. It
Yeah,
deals with a lot of the concerns of the industry.
yeah,
It makes
yeah.
sense.
The last company I worked for, we dealt with a lot of insurance companies, providers. They told us one big meeting with all the execs. Hey, if you're not high trust certified before um what I believe the end of 2021, we're not we're not gonna
We're not gonna
stick around.
pursue this.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna stick
Wow.
around. And imagine high trust is like something really big,
Oh yeah.
really, really big. To even start off the audit, it's like 300,000. And if you don't meet the due dates, you have to wait a year and pay another 300,000. So you can tell how serious it is.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was only what a few of us, it it was a lot of work. It
Oh
was a
yeah.
lot of work.
Let me switch over to like I had this conversation on stream I think a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
Um Having the mindset of being let me pull up the title of that stream so I can remember what it was, because I can't remember my own streams anymore. That's how much crap is going on. um okay, I actually have a couple of them. One of them is the fear of automation, which we can actually touch upon
Hmm.
later. But the one thing that I wanted to have is the approach. I talked about it was actually last week on stream.
Hmm.
How the approach of new technologies, and technically cybersecurity is a new technology.
Right.
How would you approach, like, let's say ISO 27002 or High Trust 2.0 or some other new certificate comes out?
Hmm.
How would you start approaching that? I want to get this from a different perspective, because I'm heads on. I'm like,
Right.
let me just grab it. How would you approach it? I want to get that.
So, like I said, it all goes back to the users. But you know where it's really important when you have to get the execs on board. You have to really sit there and explain to them this is what it does for you, this is how it benefits you, this is where it will take your company. You'll be surprised companies be in business for more than 10, 20 years, never touch the certification. So the best approach is to always start above, you know,
Yeah.
start above, get them on board. Once they're on board, it just trickles down.
Nice.
You don't just, some people they'll come in, they start making changes right then and there. That's not the best practice because you'll get a lot of
Yeah, that was my approach.
pushback. You'll get a lot of pushback. Make a few changes, little
Yeah,
small
yeah.
changes.
I
Like the
learned that the
change.
hard way.
Make a few little small changes. Let them ease them into it.
Yeah,
Show them like, hey, like, like, hey, look what they asked on the questionnaire. I
yeah,
did that.
yeah,
They'll be like, hmm. So our customers are worried about the yes, and then because you don't want, like I said, you don't want something bad to happen for them to be like, "Ah, okay,
yeah.
maybe you are right," and we seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We seen it happen.
Yeah,
So we seen it happen. So the best approach is to always start from above and trickle down. If you have a manager, speaks to the manager. I'm pretty sure the manager's on board. He'll get the execs on board. And once they're on board, it just trickles down because you can't, as a manager of a different department, you can't tell them no.
yeah,
You have to get on board. It's either, hey,
yeah,
get on the ship or drown.
yeah. Exactly.
Because all of us, like I always say, we're a strong bullet, but once you shoot us, you just reload another one in the chamber.
Yeah,
You repeat.
we're
So
we're
you,
repla-
you,
well, we're
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 replaceable.
expendable. Yeah.
Exactly.
I had
So
I had a viewer ask, "Is high trust a healthcare specific?"
yeah, I only seen it in the healthcare industry. It's it's basically like it's I the way it was explained to me and the way from what I've learned is if you're selling a drug, why should we trust your company? So for example, I forgot the name of the CDC. Why should we trust them of what they say?
Yeah,
Think about it like that. Why should we trust you? Think about all of the certifications like that. Why should we trust you of what comes from you, your product, your application, your drugs. What make what you have that makes us say, oh, yeah, he's legit. What makes us legit? Our resume and our experience.
Our
What
certs.
makes them legit? Exactly. What makes them legit? Their certifications and their experience of how long their business has been open, how they've been doing things. Look how SolarWinds went from right here to
Wow,
down
you
here.
went there. You touched the SolarWinds button.
Not saying they weren't certified, but it's
It can happen. Here's the
it
thing.
can
It can
happen to
happen to
anyone.
anyone.
Exactly.
Anyone.
It's
Even
just
any government.
exactly. It's just not being certified. They look at you like that'll be the first thing they say. Oh, you weren't certified.
It doesn't matter. By the way,
Exactly.
viewer says that he has the same shirt. He likes it.
Thanks.
Oh, nice. I got another question. Okay, so this one I wanna do. I'm gonna answer it, and I want you to also kind of answer on this one.
Mhm.
Thoughts on certs versus years. I'm gonna jump in first because let me tell you,
This is a
son.
golden question.
Let me tell you, son.
This is a golden
This is
question. I
This is
love this
literally,
question.
there is no right answer on this one, and it
There
sucks
isn't.
because
There isn't.
everybody has a perspective. So for
There isn't.
me, I've been doing this for 15 years, and all I have to my name is an A plus certification. Now, mind you, with just those 15 years, I can probably school a lot of CCNA and CCNPs and Microsoft professionals.
Yep.
School them. Now, don't tell me book knowledge. I will go ahead and grab that server and I will go circles around you. Now, here's the thing. How do you prove that in a resume?
Mhm.
That's the problem. It's the catch 22. That's where I'm a person that I would value personally more your experience than your certificates. And
Yep.
here's the reason why. Show me what have you done in the last 5 to 7 years that one has brought the company more value, two has made it more secure, and three that you have literally overcome one of those most difficult things. I'm going to use a perfect example. We implemented Radius from scratch.
From scratch.
How hard is it to implement Radius from scratch?
Mind
It's
you,
not easy.
I told you my experience with Radius and what I seen. So when we were able to do it ourselves, I was like, the hell?
That's a feather on my cap. Let's just put it that way.
To piggyback off what you said, it's no right or wrong answer. It's all about, will you take a chance on me to prove myself?
A lot of companies
We
won't do it.
exactly. You'll I promise you, you'll meet someone that has a you'll meet someone that has 10 certifications, a degree. You ask them, hey, um, what are the 7 layers? They look at you like, um, um, uh,
Let me tell you something, man. You asked me that question. I'm gonna get stuck on number 5. I know
but
physical. It was a physical. Is it link? It's Oh my god. Not transport. It's I got it. You see, you can't quote me on that. But now you tell me where the issues. I'm like, oh yes, there were 3.
exactly. So you'll meet people. They will. I've learned there's book theory and there's actual experience, and and I rather take someone with experience because don't get me wrong, I'm in school. I'm getting my bachelor's degree. I graduate in December, but I'm not doing it so I can go to a company and say, yeah, I have my bachelor's degree. Bro, when I got hired at the company, you were there. They said, oh, we see you're getting a degree. Cool. But we don't care about that. And I respect it.
Yeah.
Because why should you care? When I learned this, when I learn something,
Don't go there. Don't go there.
when I learn something, and I go to class, and my professor's teaching it, I'm like, the heck? You're not right, but whatever. I'm not gonna tell you. You know, I always learn. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you like, bro, what are you talking about? For example, Docker. You know how I feel
Don't.
about that.
I gave you a crash course in Docker, and
You
you were
gave me a crash course.
you were
I
teaching
caught
the
on like
class.
this. He taught in the class probably the same night, and I'm like, no, bro. So don't get me wrong, you'll come across some great professors that teach you real world things, but there's some professors that just teach out of a book. I get my degree for different reasons, not to come to a company and say, oh, yeah, I have my degree, give me a job. No, I want you to hire me off my experience and what I know because I can go to because I done took Python, Java, and a few other and C++. I don't go to a development. I don't go to a software company saying, "Oh yeah, I know all of these languages. Here's my degree to show it."
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, okay, you got the job. You get the job now. 3 months later, I'm out of a job because I lied.
Exactly.
So
You
I don't
fluffed up.
blame
You
these-
fluffed it up.
Exactly. People I done learned from, the most knowledgeable people in tech that I done learned from, contractors, co-workers. You know what's funny? I done asked them, hey, did you go to school? I never, the answer is, I never stepped foot in the class. All certifications. Some have no certifications. None at all. Not
Yeah.
even one.
Yeah.
Some only have one. Some have a lot. I just some people the people that scare me are the people that have 20 plus. It's like, bro,
Yeah. So here's the thing. I know a
how
lot.
many dumbs did you learn? How many dumbs did you
Seriously.
like? Relax.
Now, here's the question that I wish there was a practical way of doing this in like in an interview. You have, let's say you have 15 certifications spread across AWS, Microsoft, Cisco, Docker, security. Have you ever been able to show me what you've applied it to?
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. A lot of the people that I talk to that are like I have kept in communications with and people that I talk to, they have barely, I'm talking about barely, any certificates because they've either expired or they got what in my case, I got grandfathered into the lifetime A+ certification. And I'm just milking off of the A+ for life crew. But half of the people that love IT that are really successful barely have a handful of certs. But you know what they do? And this is a trend.
Mhm.
They all have some form of a home lab. I have one.
1,000. Exactly.
We're not in it for the job. We love this crap.
This is a lot. This is a hobby.
This is a
Like-
freaking hobby. Like, it's a sickness, man.
And
It's
that's
a
the thing.
sickness.
You can always tell someone's passion for what they do. Some people always ask me, "Hey, how do you get into security? Is it hard?" Well, if I tell you it's hard, you won't do it. If I tell you it's easy, you still might not do it. But
Exactly.
why is that your question? Is it hard? Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy.
Man.
It's all about the passion of, do you want to do it or not? I like nerding out. You like nerding out.
yeah.
So, if you can, if I ask you, don't get me wrong, I don't judge you based off, oh, do you have a home lab, or do you have this, do you have that, or if I talk to you about it, you say, oh no, I'm not interested in that. I remember I would speak to some people. I'd be like, hey, do you have a home lab? What do you have at home? I don't do that, man. I have a life outside of this. Oh, that just showed me you're doing this for a check. People, that's the problem nowadays.
Yeah.
People want to get into tech for the money. So you're getting a lot of lazy security analysts, lazy security engineers that are just doing it for the money. Do a little audit here and there. Do a little check out a few alerts and clock out. Where you have some people that really go home and practice their craft, and that's where I like when I say I like to nerd out. If I'm talking to you and we're getting into it, yeah, I want to lab, but not everyone has the money
Yeah.
to actually. It's
I
expensive.
respect that. I respect that.
Exactly. But if
But
you're just
where
telling
there's
me
a will, there's a way.
exactly, but if you're just telling me I have a life outside of this, that's cool. But sheesh.
Let me tell you something. That I've had that comment told to me before
Exactly.
about, and these guys are bright, but you can tell that they love the stuff, but they have to draw a line or something like that. For whatever reason. I guess it's sort of like a self-restraint because they can they can go in hard onto this.
Hmm.
Like, okay, so going back to the saying, where there's a will, there's a way.
Hmm.
I'm not kidding you. I have my tower here. I have my laptop here. That I'm not kidding you. I was trying to do some testing on this thing, and Windows 11 crapped out on me. My webcam didn't work. So guess what I did last night at 11 p.m. I installed Windows 10. I have my home lab, and then I have my old laptop that's still here. That laptop was my first iteration of Docker in a test environment running on Linux. That was my whole test lab. Before I converted my home server, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. My home server was running on a Windows Server 2012 R2 with VMs on Hyper-V. And I had a domain controller, DHCP, DNS, and then I had a Plex server and a bunch of other stuff. But I really wanted to get into, obviously, making the whole thing Linux.
Right.
Because I wanted to be able to start expanding. I'm like, I'm doing this at work. I'm getting this Docker thing. I understand it. But I'm like, I have 3 terabytes of data. I need to make sure this crap works. So guess what I did? I installed Ubuntu, I think it was 2204 or something like that, or 2004 on this one. And I built out a Docker Compose file. Once I was able to, I just grabbed one file of every single type of data that I was going to store. I got that Docker Compose file, and I modified it to the point that I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with it. I backed up the entire thing, all 3 terabytes. I ended up finding out that I had extra data for no reason. Took it out, put it all into a 3 terabyte external drive that I had. Redid my server with Ubuntu 22 or I don't remember what was the flavor of the time. Then I installed Docker. I did everything on Linux. That's how I discovered Cockpit I was showing you the other day.
Yeah.
And then I got that same Docker file from my lab. I put it into my server, and it went. I'm like,
What did I just discover?
I'm like, oh no. At that time, I had 16 containers. I have 29 now. It's a sickness. And I have like 4 more that I want to spin up. Like I have Grafana and Prometheus ready. I have pfSense running in my house for my firewall, and I want to be able to actually get the data from my pfSense and input it into Prometheus so I can see it in Grafana. I'm not kidding you. I have it all feeding. I just haven't spent the time to actually build a dashboard so I can see all my traffic go over time.
Right.
That's literally the last piece. I have everything. I have all my data. Literally, my Prometheus server is probably like full of like traffic graphing data and everything. And all I need to do is just build a graph saying data point A, data point B. But I literally, that's how I started with like, okay, I'm gonna get over into Docker because I'm learning this at work, and I'm like, oh,
Right,
this is cool, and Docker Compose and orchestration. Now I want to start getting into Kubernetes,
bro. You and me both.
and I'm like, where do I start? So guess what I'm gonna do? I have to upgrade my server. My server is almost full, and it's 10 years old. It's an
Mm,
i5, man. It's a fourth gen i5. I have no shame in saying that. That's a little sucker kicks, and
that's
it's
the that's the ancient one.
that's a little that's the little engine that could, man. 24 gigs of RAM, and I have 3 terabytes in a RAID 1. And yeah, I want to put like good chunks of data. I actually want to put like
Mhm.
a decent hardware in there. But the next one I want to do is I want to actually lab out Kubernetes into an actual Kubernetes cluster so that I can load balance between 3 or 4 VMs. And then let's say that I have these 4 VMs, I have all 28 containers spread across all four
Right,
of them.
right.
That's my next level stuff. If I can't do that, I can do that with Docker Swarm. I already did that. I did that in a lab actually on stream, that I created a Docker Swarm where all these containers actually spread across, and the Nginx was automatically failing over across them. This is the stuff that I'm like,
Bro,
I want to do. I'm like, I don't have the hardware nor the time.
we both know that when it comes to time,
Man,
that's
that's the hardest one for me.
ooh, it just started raining so hard.
Ooh, it feels good to be inside.
Right, right.
Oh man, bro. Oh man, you know what? We've been at it for 45 minutes already.
Right.
I don't know if you wanna touch upon any other subjects. You want to go ahead and wrap it up from here. It's up to you.
Well, one, thanks for having me.
It's been fun, man. I wanted
Two,
to. I've actually wanted. I've been like, man, I should do like a podcast style. Bring people that I know.
seriously.
It's
Two,
interesting. Go ahead.
two, for you guys that want to get into security, I recommend to learn these three things: networking, cloud, and scripting. Please, please, scripting will save your life. I keep telling him to teach you guys. He don't want to teach you guys.
Oh, come on. Really?
He don't. He don't
You're
want
you're
to teach you
telling
guys.
the guy that did an intro to PowerShell scripting where you've been using it to go ahead and build the servers at work. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm telling you guys, that video, that's just the beginning. His scripting knowledge is something out of this world.
And I'm not even like the
And
best.
and he'll keep hearing this from me until I come across someone that's better. I don't care if it's if it's 30 years from now, I'm gonna text him like, "Hey, bro, I still haven't came across anyone that's as good as you yet."
Man, I'm retired. What are you talking about?
Because
Oh
automation,
man.
don't be afraid to automate. That's something I'm trying to get into. Automation is a lifesaver. It's a skill set that I recommend everyone should have no matter what field you're in. It will make your job easier. It will help you balance your projects better, finish your projects earlier, and you'll just look like a beast.
Oh,
This guy looks like a beast.
I
I seen him automate 5 things in 1 week. Yes.
wait. I did?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Nah,
Yes.
there's no way.
This week alone, bro. This week alone, you did like 3 things.
Yeah, I did.
So exactly.
Okay,
Trust me.
you just remind me of the other topic I wanted to talk about, and you actually you touched on it. I'm like, this is the perfect segue. People being afraid of automation.
You can't be.
Oh my
It's- You should not. I watched a TikTok of a guy. He was the network engineer. He automated the whole network, but he kept it on his local laptop. You see where that could go. See, when you do automating like that, And the company relied on him so much, they didn't hire him any help. They left him. Yeah, everything's automated anyways. They didn't care where he kept it. They didn't care how where it was hosted. Anything, all on his local laptop. So when he decided, you know what, I'm going to another company that appreciates me, that's going to give me some help. The new network guy comes in and he's like, "So where can I find everything?" Oh, the old guy's laptop. And then they're like, "Okay." He goes into the laptop and he's like, guys, this is like 3,000 lines. 3,000 lines. What what do I need to do with this? They're like, "Hey, figure it out." But if things are properly documented, things are properly put in the right place, telling you, "Hey, this what this does, this what that do." Nothing's wrong with automation. Do not be afraid of it. People, you know why people are really afraid of it? Job security.
Yep.
People are feel like, "Why are you automating my job? Why don't you see it as I'm making your job easier?" Like,
Now, here's a part that I will jump in because I have automated people out of a job. Oh, I just peeked out for a second. Sorry. Hold on. My mic just clipped. I have automated people out of a job,
mhm,
but it's not because that they were not doing anything. Is that there was no ambition to actually transform their role.
exactly,
That is the biggest problem. They did not transform or adapt to a new role. If
exactly.
you get automated out of a role, you deserve to get automated out of a role.
Because people, it's like you make them think like, what do we need you for?
Exactly. That's
A
like
few
that's
lines
like
of
that's like
code,
that meme. It's like I'm gonna replace you with a very small shell script.
exactly. And if you, it's either you be proactive and it's either you be proactive and learn something new, you adapt to a new department or a role, like you said.
Or
You at that point, exactly. At that point, you just gotta reevaluate your skills in your life. Like, damn, I really wasn't doing nothing. I thought I was a beast. No, 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 no. You were a script kiddie,
script monkey.
script monkey, and you don't want to be one of those because again, automate out your role is embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
That is embarrassing.
Especially somebody like me. I'm not even that great, man. Though I don't care what you say. I'm not that great, man.
Whatever, whatever.
I'm,
That it is embarrassing to get automated out, bro. And that's what people are afraid of. Like that's because you'll be in a company, you'll be like, guys, let's automate this. Oh, bro, you'll
somebody
have
commented.
so many people look at you like, why do you want to automate it? Like, no. Then they start, bashing. You're not even that good. This, that. It's like, bro, you're scared of jobs. I'm doing something that can make all our jobs easier. You're scared about losing your job.
That has been the one thing that has been a constant. By the way, somebody commented that I actually automated somebody out of a job. Well, let me tell you something. He's actually watching it right now. Wait, where's my camera? Here it is. He's actually watching it. I'm doing it right now. But I'm not automating a person out of a job. I'm actually saving a role. I'm like, we don't need to hire anybody.
Exactly. So people never see the best practices. We need to have whoever that is. We need to have him on the stream. It could be all three of us talking.
I remember actually working. He actually worked with me. That's how he actually saw me. He saw my Instagram. He found my channel. He's like, I remember we worked and I think he was still relatively green, but he had a lot of promise. He had a lot of that go getting enthusiasm, which is good.
Mhm.
But he just said he had to get off right now. But he's like, it was an honor working alongside with me. Let me tell you something. I've worked a lot. I've worked with a lot of people, and
We need
very
him on
few.
the stream.
Let me tell you, I have a couple of people that I have in mind
I need
because
I, I need I need him a part of this conversation. Who did he automate out of a role?
I'm like,
like
who is it? And then let's
like
go from here.
you guys are masterminds.
Man, let me tell you something. And yeah, Jose, his name is Jose Ortiz. Actually, he says that I inspired him. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, Back then, I was not even like that was like I'm level that was like level 2 me. I'm like at level 6 right now. I'm in a whole different realm of how you met me back then. The mentality, the mindset. I've grown a lot in the last 6-7 years that we worked together. But one thing that they say that he took a picture of me when I was sleeping in the car.
That's
Wow.
the MSP days.
Damn, bro. Let me tell you something. Those days were rough. Oh,
I
man.
never really worked at an MSP, but I worked at an internal MS. I can say we were an internal MSP because there were 50 locations, and there were only 4 of us.
Wow.
And some of the locations were in the furthest one was in not Jupiter, Florida. What is the name of that city before you get to Orlando? I don't remember. Saint.
Oh my god.
Saint.
My god. It's
It's at the tip. It's at the tip of my tongue.
yeah.
But, bro, so you'll think, oh, well, I'm only going to
Kissimmee.
Boynton Beach today.
It's close to Kissimmee.
Yeah.
St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You'll think. You'll wake up at 8 in the morning. Hey, we need you to go to Boynton Beach today. All right, cool. But we need you back by 10. What do you mean? So it's like I understand when people say MS. That's why I ask when people say MSPs are hard. I believed it because we worked in internal MSP that everybody wanted things done on their time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everything's always broken.
And it had to be done there and then, no excuses.
Oh my gosh. Nothing's worse than being called out to a site. And when you're called out, it's something you could have fixed remote. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. So
Man. Let me tell you something, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna go back because this whole thing of being scared of automation. So the whole thing of automation, and this is from an MSP standpoint. Yeah, we want to embrace automation. We want to do this automation, this. Okay, do it.
you want a lot.
What? Okay, you want to script it. Okay, get somebody that does it. Oh, we can't afford it. So you're telling me, or you're trying to tell me that you want to get the Cadillac, but you don't want to pay for the Kia. This is the truth of the 2 MSPs that I worked at. This is not a de facto of every single MSP, because I know people that have worked in the MSP field, and they're making bank.
Yeah.
They're making bank. All right, man. Good night. So here's the thing. You want to go ahead and have the big. You want to have the big toys. And you want to play with the big boys, but you don't want to pay the big boy bucks.
That's the thing. Everybody wants a discount. They want things for free. That's the thing.
Bro, this ain't BK. You can have it your way.
That's the thing. and that's what comes with a lot of people hiring, hoping they'll get someone that just
will settle.
You'll have a lot of people. Oh yeah, we're hiring you to just do this. All of a sudden, when you first day, yeah, we're gonna need you to do this, that. We see you have a background in this. Maybe you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can help him with this. You're just like, whoa. What's going on?
Let me tell you something. When I did the interview for the job for the company that we're at right now, It was a manager and my lead. I've always talked to you about. I don't know if I told you the story. In that interview, we talked about, oh yeah, I did, this, I built these servers, and we migrated to 365, and we managed 365, and we did these, we did it. And I started talking about the stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then I started talking about, like, yeah, I have a Linux server, I have a server running, I have a Raspberry Pis, I have this, I have that. My lead that day, I'll never forget those words. He's like, man, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, I tinker. I have a server. I like playing around with this stuff.
Exactly.
I have a Raspberry. I have like 2 Raspberry Pis. I have no idea where they're at. They're somewhere. I got like VMs everywhere. I'm running Docker. I'm running Linux. I'm running this. I have a Ubiquiti Wi-Fi in an apartment. Who does that? People who buy those things for the house.
Wi-Fi strong.
The Wi-Fi. No, I need actually to get another one actually. It's just I have really bad the wiring
sucks. Probably VLAN and everything.
Don't get me started, man. I'm really close to doing it. I need a switch. I need a switch first.
Oh my god.
That's actually the next thing I want to do. I want to get a smart switch. I want to get not a smart switch. I want to get a managed switch. But I want to get Ubiquiti. Those cost money, man. They're like $400. Ubiquiti, if you want to sponsor, go right ahead. No, but all seriousness, like, yeah, a lot of these things that we talk about, like we talked about everything, mm-hmm. Like, oh, you want to be enthusiastic about it. You want to enjoy what you do. You got to also not be afraid of automating. You don't want to be afraid of doing this. At the end of the day, you can't be afraid of doing something so good that you literally phase yourself out of a job.
Exactly.
Because what happens, and I told you this, and I told the other guys this, is that if I become better by teaching you, if you become better by me teaching you stuff, that lets me give you more work from mine for me to learn more stuff.
Right.
And that's going to go ahead and just trickle down.
Exactly.
You cannot, and this is, I think I talked about this on the stream, you can't be afraid to learn. You can't stop learning.
Nope.
You just can't. You got to constantly push yourself. You got to constantly evolve. It's going to get to the point that I'm going to have to stop learning the tech because I'm going to get to the point that I'm like, I can't understand it, but I know enough to manage. And I think that's going to be, that's my end game in the next 10, 15 years. I'm going to be a manager, like a manager / director of IT or maybe CIO or something like that. I don't know. But
and I always say doctors are always learning because there's always new medicine, there's always a new way of doing surgery, there's always different things. Yeah, you can call us the doctors of tech because we're always learning. There's always something new for us to learn. There's always something we have to improve on. Tech is improving daily. So why not stay afloat?
100%.
I go into a coma right now. I'm gonna wake up. I'm like, bro, what the hell?
You're like, wait. We were on PowerShell. What is this newfangled? What is this? This is all cloud AI Azure stuff. What is this?
Bro.
Well, back in the day, we had to type. What? We had to just think of the automation now?
Exactly. So,
man.
That's why every time someone asks me, is it hard? I just tell them, bro, you just gotta have the passion. You gotta want to learn. And you gotta want to keep learning because you can learn now, but things change. Are you gonna keep learning?
I'm gonna use this because I did mechanics for a few years in the back, like when I was a kid. Yeah, but here's the thing: everything that you're gonna do as a job is hard. Oh. If it wasn't hard, there wouldn't be a job for it.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing: what makes it easy is your approach and your mindset. Mm-hmm. How do you think, or how? Okay, so I'm gonna use an example. My dad is a mechanic. He's 81. Oh my God, he's turning 82 soon. Oh, he's turning 81 soon. My goodness.
Is he still a mechanic?
No, he what?
Oh, I was about to say,
No, you.
don't tell me I come to your house and I see him under a car changing the oil.
You joking? My dad he's
What?
actually fixing my niece's car.
Oh,
Man, you know what? He loves it.
exactly.
That man, let me tell you something. He's old school Cuban. They don't make him like they used to. He is like still chugging along. He works little side jobs here and there just to make his little extra money. But yeah, let me tell you something. That man has worked for the last 50 or 60 years on cars. That guy knows a thing or two.
Right.
He doesn't know how to deal with a computer. He does everything now is all computerized. In the job that he retired from, it was all computers. Well, guess what? That man freaking learned how to go to open a browser to go ahead and start looking at blueprints for wiring, start looking for service bulletins. But guess what? That guy was a monster mechanic. He can tell you by like looking at it. Just by doing 3 or 4 tests, he knows what the problem is, and guess what? He had one of the lowest return rates in his shop. Like problems that like reoccurring problems, he was the lowest rate. Why?
And you ever heard an old person say this? Yeah, I can retire, but I feel like if I stop working, I'll die sooner.
Yep, my dad tells me that.
My dad said the same thing.
So this is what, I'm gonna use it as an example. Like I'm pretty handy. Like I know how to work tools. I know how to fix a car. I know how to do all this stuff.
Car? Nope.
I know, dude. I can fix my own
handy,
car.
But car, nope.
No.
I'll build something though in the house.
Oh yeah, I just give me some shop out here. I can do all of that. I'm looking at home improvement stuff on like my free time when I'm bored.
When you do tech, you just feel like you can do anything. I'll build a house tomorrow.
I am powerful.
I'll automate a house.
You could now. I could now. It's called an iPhone. Have you ever used HomeKit? I do have home automation here.
You see?
These light bulbs? They're automated. If I leave the lights on at a certain amount of time and it detects that my TV goes to sleep, within 5 minutes these lights turn off.
You see?
When I leave the house, my AC turns off.
And what about when you're coming back?
It turns on. When it detects that I'm a few feet away, it'll turn on the AC and drop it down to like 72 or something like that. I don't forget what it was.
Wow.
But let me tell you something. Yeah, you could automate a house. Give me a script.
You see?
But look, as a mechanic, I was a mechanic for 5 years. I was 12 when I was working as a mechanic. So yeah, I'm pretty handy with my tools. I did construction as well. The only thing that makes it difficult is the lack of enthusiasm for your trade.
Yep.
Because when I was working with my dad, I was enjoying it. I was like, man, I can fix this, I can do this, I can do that. And my dad would start teaching me these tricks and like how chemicals work and how they'll degrease and stuff like that. I'm like, where'd you learn this? My dad, his education in Cuba, he stopped at the 6th grade. But that man knows his stuff. And I'm like,
he knows his stuff.
How do you know that mixing these two would actually clean off all of these chemicals? Yep. I'm like, how? It's the enthusiasm and the willingness to learn and the willingness to actually just ask questions.
Experience. A dealership would be happy to have a man with his knowledge.
Man, they fought. The only reason why like he ended up retiring was that the dealership changed owners. And they didn't know what they had. They saw his age and they saw a liability. But regardless, here's the thing. Going back, I can do a lot of things. I have a vast amount of hobbies. Music, audio production, video production, IT of all sorts, musician, gaming, mechanics, handyman. I have a very vast trade. Right. And I can go in and I can enjoy any of it. But the one thing that that gets me going. That gets me like, is IT. That's how I know I love what I do. That I wake up and I'm not dreading it.
Right. I'm not like, should I go
It's
today?
another day.
I know I love it when I wake up and my the algorithm is showing me a whole bunch of IT stuff. I'm like, oh, so you know what I love. You know what I like.
You know what I'm about.
Right. You know what time it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm about. Oh man.
That is true.
All right, man. You got anything else you want to talk about before we sign off for the day?
Nah, nothing else. Dang, sound like we about to clock out of work. You have anything else for me?
Gee, I swear I said that before. I'm like, why does that sound familiar?
Like, sheesh. Did we just finish a project?
It feels like it, right?
Seriously.
Man, I'm going to be clipping this.
We have to do this again.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be clipping this and putting this on the socials, man. There's a lot of good little tidbits in this one for sure. Alrighty, man. Well, thank you for joining the quote unquote podcast. It's not really a podcast. Maybe we should make it a podcast. I don't know.
We should.
The J&J podcast. But yeah, we can. Yeah, we should do this again sometime soon.
Of course.
Maybe we'll get some other people involved. We have like a 3-way conversation. Just I would. You know what?
So we turn into a panel.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be sick. Like the experts panel.
Yes.
That'd be super cool. Let's see. Let me see. Let's start. I actually have some people in mind. I'm gonna try to see if I can get them on not next week. I think it's a little too short. But I have a guy that he's a networking monster. Like, you think I'm good? No, this guy squashes me.
I'm gonna be like, hey, question. Explain subnetting.
No, let me tell you something. This guy, like, we would have debates. We're talking about like over beer and wings, having debates about networking, and he would school me. But let me tell you something. He's more now into like VoIP ISP type of technologies. He's a little off the basics. He's more on the higher level tiered stuff. So I want to see if I can get him on. He's super cool. Alrighty, man. Well, thank you for joining. I might stay on for another little bit to play. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Like 10 minutes?
Yeah. I don't know. All right, man. Well, thank you for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me. No problem. See you tomorrow.
All right, I'm gonna be right back for a few minutes. Do I even have? I don't have anything. Don't. All right, I'll be right back for a few.